Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm James and this is Clearwater Fishing. And today we're changing the gear lube in my Mercury 60 horse motor. This is an EFI engine from 2010. This process should work on many different engines. This process is actually fairly simple. We're gonna go over the tools you need and the overall process. And you guys should be able to change your gear lube on your own, well, the next time you need to. Before we get started in changing our gear lube, I want to ask you guys to smash that subscribe button. We do all sorts of fishing related content, boat maintenance videos, how-tos, even just general entertaining videos. So smash the subscribe button, it'll help me out a lot, and I'll keep making this great content like this for you guys. So about a year ago, I made a gear lube changing video, and the audio and the video were pretty awful. So I'm hoping to recoup some of that and actually do much better in this video because, well, I've gotten a lot better over the last year. Well, the overall process never changed. I just want to document it a little better for my own sake. So let's start off with some of the stuff that you need. You need an oil drain pan. Mine currently has my oil in it from changing it in my engine just a few minutes ago. But you need an oil change pan to drain the oil in, the gear lube. You need the correct gear lube for your engine. Mine requires this 90 straight weight here, this 90 weight gear lube. I use Mercury because it's blue and it's pretty easy to identify when you have problems. You also need this pump. This pump that goes on the top, you definitely need that. If you don't have a pump, definitely pick one up when you're buying your gear lube. Especially one with the little screw-on cap, pretty important. Speaking of which, that brings me to my first tip. When you do store your pump, it's pretty nice to tape it up where it's aimed up here so it doesn't just drain out onto the ground. Otherwise, all this stuff that's in the hose here would have drained all on the ground. You obviously need some kind of rag to keep you and your equipment clean. The tools that you need, simply a flathead screwdriver for my application. And I bring a crescent wrench to the ballpark. That way, if I need some extra torque, I have it available to really put it into it. So the first part of this process is we got to drain the gear lube out of the foot here. So I like to angle my engine upward a little bit. Makes it easier for the drain pan to get under there, and it actually makes it easier for me to get under there as well, just to do all the work and stuff I got to do down there. So I'm going to lift it up a little bit and then I'll see you guys down over there. Now we're down here at the foot. So we have our drain plug here. We have a plug that is labeled vent, and we also have this fill plug as well. So first we're going to open up this drain plug using our flathead screwdriver. That was pretty easy. So you want to take special care. If you didn't buy new gaskets, you probably should buy new gaskets each time. I did not. So my gasket's still on there. It's not on my plug here. So I just want to make special care that I don't damage that one putting it in back. Otherwise, I'll have to wait till I buy a new one. Now we're going to open up a vent. And that should speed this process up a lot. As soon as I get it open, the oil will really start to flow. This is what the little gaskets look like. This one came out. I'm going to put it right back on, put it over here with this one. So this point in time is a great time to diagnose if you have a leak in your foot allowing water to come in. If you do have one, you need to get it addressed pretty quickly. You're looking for a milky color. If you've run your outboard in the last few days, you'll be looking for all the water to be mixed in with the oil and it'll look real milky. Or when you first open your plug, water will be the first thing to come out. Either one of those means you have a seal problem and you need to get that addressed pretty quickly. Now we're going to finish taking this other plug off. And this one also came off. The gasket did, see? And now it's just the process of letting this guy drain all of its oil out. So I'll see you guys here in a few minutes. So now our oil has stopped dripping long enough, or at least it's dripping pretty slowly. I could probably go ahead and get started on putting more gear lube in there. Took my little tape off like we talked about earlier. And if you buy the pump that I have, the pump has a little cap on here, on the end of the tube here. You just simply unscrew this little cap, and this piece simply will thread in to where our plug was. It makes this process super easy. So we'll go ahead and we're going to go ahead and take our gasket out since it got stuck to it. So not a big deal. Now all three of my gaskets are out, and I don't have to worry about where I put which one. Just make sure you break it loose from the tube where it twists inside the tube. Now we're just going to simply thread it where that plug goes. I'll take it all the way in. And just like that, we're ready to start pumping oil in. Now as I start pumping, I'm going to be watching this one and this one. Gear lube will come out of one of these first, then I will plug it up, and then I'll wait for gear lube to come out of the second one, and then I'll plug it up, and then I'll quickly take this guy off and put my third plug in the bottom. So let's go ahead and start pumping. For the 60 horse, or at least mine, it really only takes about a third of a bottle, a third of a 32 ounce bottle to actually fill this guy up. The bottle I currently have, it was about at a third, so I went ahead and bought another one just in case. I hear some sounds, so use your ears as well. I think it comes out the vent first, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's just the way it's channeled. And I was afraid, yep. So I was correct in is it coming out the vent first. So we're going to go ahead and get our plug up here and ready to go. Oh. I have gear lube leaking out of the other one as well now. So we're really good shape. So my bottle just ran out of gear lube, so I'm going to have to change over to my other one to make sure I get this guy full. Oh. I did leave my drain pan below here, so let's go ahead and get our plug going here. I have a feeling that's not going to end well for me. Okay, that one shows to be full. So what I did there is I just had the plug in just barely, and as I was pumping it, I untwisted it just a tiny bit, and I saw gear lube come from around it. I'll do the same thing on the vent here to make sure it's full as well. Since it is a little higher, I want to make sure there's oil there as well. So I'm going to, yeah, there's a little bubble coming out there. So I want to make sure I don't have that. A little bit messy there. Didn't mean to be that messy. Okay, so all of our air is out now. And now, I said all of our air is out. Okay, that should be all the air. I think I got some air in when I was trying to pump it. So, something to note, when you're running low, you don't pump the air in. I screwed up and didn't mean to do that. So now it's causing my process to be a lot messier. Normally that would just quickly have one or two bubbles and then it'd be over. But I pumped a little air in there on accident. Not paying attention. All right, that's it. No more bubbles. That was a full pump with no bubbles. That makes me feel good. Tighten it on down. I'm just using 2 hands here. I'm getting a good amount of pressure in there. That one's really tight. That one's really tight. So here's the tricky one. So I need to unscrew my tube here and quickly put the plug in, and then screw in with a screwdriver without letting the least amount of air in as possible. Come on now. So I'm gonna have my plug ready. So not very much should come out since there's not a vent up here anymore. So got it in there quickly as I could. It's a little bit of a messy process on this one. There's not a super easy and clean way to do it. So, got a little bit on my hands. I think I got a little on my leg there. So I'm going to make sure that's nice and tight. And I already checked the top too. So, now it's just a process of cleaning up. Alright guys, so I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. On this change, I actually did make a pretty significant mistake. I let myself pump a little air into the bottom. Not recommended. Don't do that. As soon as you see an air bubble in your tube, you need to switch bottles. That's just what you really need to do. I was trying to get everything I could out of the bottle, not thinking that I was putting air in there. So I ended up wasting a little bit of gear lube as I was pumping it in because I had to get all the air back out. So don't do that. Don't do what I did because that's just not smart. But overall, the process did go pretty smooth. I made sure there was no air coming out of either vent, and that's kind of what you want to do. And then on the bottom plug, obviously you're going to leak something out. You want to do that as quickly as possible so to minimize the amount of air you have in there. That just keeps the air from mixing in with your gear lube and maximizing your lubrication of all the parts that are in your foot. So if you learned anything from this video, make sure you smash that like button. And if you enjoyed the video itself, also smash that like button. Now, hopefully this video was much better than my previous video, and this one overtakes that. But I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. But just like always, until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish. Now I got all this cleanup to do. Y'all want to come help?